Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam tasliman kathiran. I'm sitting here in Fazlani Nature Nest in Donavla, and these are the backwaters of the Andhra Dam. This is a beautiful health resort which is built on the bank of this reservoir. Very beautiful. There is Ayurveda. There is all kinds of treatments for people who need treatment. But just a very beautiful place to be in. I can hear red bottle lapwings, their alarm call. They are at the bank of the lake. On my right there are some white-throated kingfishers, and you can see the sun coming out and the reflection of the sun in the water. What you might be hearing behind me are guinea birds. There are geese, there are guinea birds, there are mallards, all kinds of creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is, as we see, some kind of duck which is landing in the water. I'm too far away to see what exactly it is, but there are 3 of them in the water. I want to remind myself and you of a wonderful piece of advice given by one of the greatest scholars of the subcontinent, Sheikh Sayyid Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi, rahmatullah alayh. And somebody wrote it up, and it's a lovely little book, about 15-17 pages. It's called 3 Gems. The first of them I want to share with you today, which seems to be, if you think about it, might even seem a little strange, but reflect on it and think about how wisdom that is wise is not easy. He says, never be an oppressor, rather be the oppressed. He said, never be an oppressor, rather be the oppressed. Now, if you think about it, it might sound to be, something which is not logical. You might say, why should I suffer oppression? The idea here is not to suffer oppression, and there's no, you're not being discouraged from seeking justice, but the issue is the understanding of the akhirah. Because if you are an oppressor, whether you succeed or not, because you might be an oppressor, but the person you are oppressing might be too strong for you to succeed, but you still get the result of that sin of oppressing, because you wanted to oppress. Whether you did or not, you will still oppress. You are still counted as an oppressor. This is like the hadith of Rasulullah, where he said that if one Muslim fights another, then both are in Jahannam. He said one Muslim fights another and he kills him. He said, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, both are in Jahannam. So the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, the one who killed, he has committed murder, he will be in Jahannam. But what about the one who died? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the one who died because he didn't have the skill to kill the other one. So he is also in Jahannam because his intention was to fight and kill his brother. So therefore, never be an oppressor, rather be the oppressed. Sayyid Abul Hasan Nadwi, he says that when he was a little boy, there was a maid servant who had been engaged to look after him. And one day And that lady also had a small child who was about the same age. So he says that one day we both got into some fight, some altercation, and I hit this boy. So here is Ali Mian Rahmatullah Ali. He says, I hit this little boy. And he was also, both of the two little kids fighting. He said, when my mother heard of that, she called me, she called the maid, and she called that little boy, the maid's son, and she said, now you hit Ali. You slap Ali, like he slapped you. So, Ali Mian says, Rahmatullah alayhi, that the little boy was overawed with this. He didn't, want to say anything, didn't want to do anything. So he said, my mother took his hand and slapped me with it. And she said, never hit another person. Now this is the benefit of tarbiyah which we talk about. And this is how tarbiyah is done, where right from the youngest age you raise children who are raised on the principle of justice, who are raised on the principle of not only doing what is right, but doing even more than that. The issue of oppression and being oppressed, as I mentioned, is also an issue of dunya wal akhirah, because if you think about it, even if you succeed, a person who is oppressing, if he succeeds in his oppression and gets what he wants, it is temporary, because one day he will lose it. When he dies, he will lose it. But what remains, which will go with him, is the sin of that. The sin of that which he earned, and that will go with him when he goes from this world. Whereas the one who was oppressed, what did he lose? He lost something which he would have left anyway. And what did he gain? He gained the deeds of the one who oppressed him. I remind myself and you of the hadith of Rasul Sallam, where he asked the Sahaba, he said, who are the destitute among you? So they said, Ya Rasulullah, the destitute among us are those who have no dirham, no dinar, those no money, no property, no wealth. Rasulullah said, no. He said, the destitute among you are those who will come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment with deeds, good deeds the size of a mountain. Good deeds the size of a mountain. He says, however, there will be a line of people seeking justice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this justice will be for whatever oppression that these people did over those other people. Somebody they killed, somebody they slandered, somebody whose honor they destroyed, somebody who they beat, somebody who they abused. Whatever be the nature, people who were wronged. And Rasulullah said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, and he will ask those people, and of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, today these people have no wealth. There is no dirham, no dinar. What do you want me to do? And the people who are the petitioners, they will say, Ya Rabbal Alameen, give us good deeds from this person's account. And that will be done. Until a mountain worth of good deeds will be finished, but the line of petitioners will still be there. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, and of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, He will say, now what do you want me to do? Because this person has nothing left. And they will say, Ya Rab, give our bad deeds to that person because he has nothing to give us. And so it will be done. And a person who came before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with good deeds the size of a mountain will go to Jahannam, carrying the evil deeds of somebody else. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from this fate. And so therefore the first of the gems of advice that we have from our Shaykh and our teacher Sayyid Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi Rahmatullah alayhi is never be an oppressor, rather be the oppressed. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from all oppression and to save us from being oppressors. Because to be an oppressor is worse than being oppressed. We ask Allah ta'ala to save us from this. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Rabbul Mashriqayn wa Rabbul Maghribayn, the Rabbul Samawati wal Ard, the Rabbul Arshil Kareem, to help us to live our lives in a way which is pleasing to Him and to take us in a state when He is pleased with us. وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.